Hey guys, want to bring you another YouTube video of what just took place of Game 7 of the Clippers and Denver. Denver shocked the world again because they're actually the first team to actually win two series in the same playoff a year. So they won in Game 7s. That had to come back from down 3-1. So they've done it twice already. Um, can't really count them out. So I know there's a lot of people already counting that the Lakers are going to win. But look, I was wrong when the first series. I thought when I did this whole prediction of beginning of the bubble, I had actually Denver winning 7 games against Denver at first. So at first I thought, oh, my pick kind of looks right. Even though, yes, Utah was up at the time 3-1. So I thought, okay, they got 3 shots either way to close them out. Same thing happened with the Clippers. Um, I don't know if you should give more credit to Denver in this situation or more of a Clippers meltdown or choke. Now, as a Rockets fan, I remember, I believe it was 2015, Doc Rivers and the Clippers choke against the Houston Rockets. So they gave up that 3-1 lead. Now, Doc Rivers does have a history of giving up leads. This is the second time, I believe, giving up a 3-1 lead. The first time was the Rockets and Clippers, and then in 2015, and that was with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. They had a really good team. And then you had this season where they were, I mean, you had Kawhi Leonard, the MVP of the playoffs last year for Toronto. So, and it was his chance, Kawhi Leonard, to make a mark and a name for himself. But I guess the bad luck of the Clippers or the history of the Clippers reared its head again. I know if I was Steve Ballmer, I wouldn't be happy. And that's why I'm saying I'm trying to make a point. There is a common denomination of Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has also, and I'm going. My friend, while we were watching the game, he sent me a link and text about how Doc Rivers and Phil Jackson has historically said Doc Rivers has given up leads. This team has given up leads. So it's probably more of his coaching aspect, if anything, that Doc Rivers knows how to give up leads. 2010, when he was with the Boston Celtics, they were up 3-2. The Lakers came back and won the championship. So that's what Phil Jackson was talking about at the time. And like I said, I'll put that link of the article that my friend sent me while the game was going on. And we were pretty much shocked while we were texting back and forth, like, I can't believe this is actually happening. I didn't even watch the first half, to be honest, because I was like, all right, I think the Clippers should pull this off anyway, and I just figure I'll just miss the first half if anything, and then the second half I was just dumbfounded, surprised, like how Denver took care of business, like they played more loose. You had Clippers playing really tight. It was just mind blowing to see. I don't know if Denver could keep this up. I mean, now the stage is set. You got 4 teams: the Lakers, Denver, Boston, and Miami. Out of everybody, I think Miami's playing pretty well. And if you watch the game, the way Miami played well. But anyway, if you got to rank those 4, like most people would not choose Denver on there as being a favorite to get to the finals at this point or winning it still. But maybe they like that underdog mentality. And so I gotta give credit to Mike Malone for getting this team playing tough and gritty. They do have a lot of depth. That was one thing I did like about them, but I didn't think they had the experience of knowing how to win it at the time before this bubble or the series started. Now my mind has changed, but they do go up to the Lakers, where all-time series against the Lakers are 0-6. So Lakers have owned them. Can this be their year? That's going to be another question. I already saw some of the Vegas odds just now. I believe it's plus 425 for the series, for the Denver, and I believe it's like minus 500 or something like that for the Lakers. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking or jumping on the Lakers bandwagon on that side. But obviously, the whole NBA world is kind of shocked and surprised. But there, like I said, I'm going to put that link. It should not be a complete surprise. There is a history from Doc Rivers of blowing this type of lead. So it's not too crazy when you read it and take a look at it. But I feel like maybe what I would do at this point, because like I said, he has that history. Just like what happened to Mike D'Antoni, you've run its course. And I'm probably going to have a video of, I've had to gather myself on what I would do with the Rockets, because that was disheartening. But I'll probably have a video on that this week or next week, because I have to gather myself, because I'm still thinking about that, how they didn't really show up against the Lakers. But I think Denver should match up a lot better with Anthony Davis on there. But going back to the Clippers, I would probably let go of Doc Rivers, to be honest. Because, like I said, he's been there for a while. There is a common denomination of him not being able to get the job done. I know he has championship pedigree, but I just don't see how you've been there for so long and not be able to get the job done. Especially you've had really some great teams, and I just don't see, because the difference with Boston at the time, he did win a championship. He has that ring, but he could have had 2 rings. Come on, let's be honest there. He could have had 2 rings. So back then he had the veteran group. Now Kawhi and Paul George is a veteran, but out of that group, only Kawhi Leonard's been champion. I honestly, like I said, would probably get someone else besides Doc Rivers. I just don't know who you would get. Yeah, I guess if you were to get rid of Doc Rivers, you're going to have to get someone lined up or know who you would probably want to replace him with. I mean, you have Jerry West there. He knows how to build a team, and I just don't know, because, yes, I know it's the first year for Doc Rivers with this squad of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but you have the two top 10 players of a two-way player, and for you not to be able to get it done against a Denver team that was not even close being favorite, and you were up 3-1, that tells you a lot, and you have a history of doing that twice. So, and you gave up a championship lead against the Lakers. So, if I was Steve Ballmer and Jerry West, I would consult and try to see who's out there, what type of head coach is out there that could probably help coach this team and get them over the hump. Because this is a very talented roster. you don't have that much time left, because if you want to make sure that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George is happy, because they did sign those short contracts, um, so they do have those options. I know that they probably will exercise and stay there as long as possible, but you just don't want to waste prime time, because especially I don't think LeBron's going to be around that much longer. So you should be able to win championships next year or next couple of years, to be honest. Um, I mean, if you want, you could keep Doc Rivers for one more year, just give it another shot with this roster. But I would honestly start looking for his replacement, because I don't see how. Um, you know what? There's a team player or coach, Tyronn Lue. He's won a championship. He has the same pedigree, I would say, as Doc Rivers. He came back from a 3-1 deficit against the Warriors. So I just thought that. Why don't you look at Tyronn Lue? Before there is a lot of vacancies right now, he could be a player, coach, or a coach that could be snatched up pretty quick with all these vacancies. So that's something I'll start throwing out there. Let me go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe on what you thought about this series, and if you agree if they should get rid of Doc Rivers and bring in someone like Tyronn Lue. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.